All right, update. At about 11 a.m., 11 to 12, started getting sleepy. Started feeling tired, some of that fatigue. Yawning. I fell asleep a little bit during the sermon. And this is what I did not want to happen, because it seems to mock God's power, right? That everything is truly physical. That's what it appears to be saying, that everything is truly physical, and the body will have a physiological response, and there's absolutely no supernatural thing that can usurp that. That's what it seems to be saying. That's why I don't like this stuff. That's what frustrates me. And now I gotta keep this as honest as possible. It's not willpower yet. It's not willpower yet, because I don't have a desire to go back to taking the medication, or there's a more lovely thought of just not being on anything exogenous. And I have reasons that are separate from, spiritual reasons, it seems, for that. Man, I can't really travel. I don't want to have some type of doctor somewhere and then have to have my medication delivered to me. And then my doctor's insurance, my medical insurance, as good as it is, it goes off of how many hours I work. So I then had to rely on that. So I have to work so many hours. So I can't just go overseas and visit some of the countries in Africa without having worked a certain amount of hours to then have the medication. There's an overlap of hours, and so I can still get medication and stuff. Then it can get delivered, but then it's like a couple weeks, and you got to call over, and it's hard enough. It was hard enough to get the stuff just where I am now. So how hard would it be? I don't want to deal with none of that. I don't want to have to rely on 7 or 8 middlemen just to feel normal. So when I say like I'm feeling down, and not down, but like energy level down, there is a separation between feeling energetically down and having a craving to take it. I still don't have a craving to take it, right? The idea of taking any of the 4 things I mentioned, or doing one of those things, it's still like no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. That's still there. But the trash feeling, some of those are starting to creep in. Like feeling I don't have enough energy. Some of my motivation is there. I want to keep this as accurate as possible. I don't want to be upset and then say something that's not really happened, or fabricate it just to make it seem like woe is me. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to make this as accurate as possible, and that's what I'm going to do. So I don't have a desire or a temptation, I guess you could call it, to take any of the exogenous drugs or liquids, alcohol or Adderall. I have no desire to do it, even though I'm tired. And I gave the reason for that. I don't want to be dependent on anything while with knowing I want to travel, with knowing I want to go other places. And my doctor is not omnipresent. He don't live everywhere. You know what I mean? And you got to get it from him. And it's only 30-day supplies at a time. So I don't want to have something where to even feel normal, to even enjoy the environment, I have to have it. And so I can only stay somewhere 30 days at a time. And what if I want to build a tiny home somewhere and be there 3 months? And then build solar panels? What if I want to start a school or something somewhere, and I want to teach kids how to build solar panels and things of that nature? None of that stuff is possible if I have to have a 30-day supply of that stupid little pink thing. So still, the idea of going, what it is that the if you put 2 scales up, the idea of going back and being dependent on that is a nastier idea than how tired I feel right now. I'd rather feel this tired right now than be dependent on that stuff again. Now, that's not saying it can't tip back. It's not saying it can't tip back. But right now, it's tipped pretty well in the direction where I want to stay the course right now. And so, although I'm tired, I'm not as tired as I expected to be, and I'm not as sleepy as I expected to be either. So we're gonna keep going. I'm just letting you know I hit another kind of difficulty stage, I guess you could call it, because I love having energy. I've always had energy. And really the way this all started is my energy felt sapped in my mid-20s. And so much that I fell asleep behind the wheel. I hit something and I got on that medication. Even though I know I have narcolepsy, I don't really have ADHD. I don't really have problems as far as I understand it focusing. But narcolepsy takes the same medication as ADHD. Surprise, same thing. However, the dependence on it has made me sleepier and more tired. It definitely doesn't have the same effect as it used to. And with it not giving me the same effect as it used to, I no longer see a reason to take it. And I wanted the Lord to help me with power in this. And by power, I mean a healing is you are up like it never happened before. I've heard testimonies about it. I've seen people do it. It's not happening for me, at least right now. I believed it. I confessed it. And I don't want to hear anything else because I did that. And so now I need understanding. If I'm supposed to continue to believe it while it's not happening, then that shit starts to get delusional. And we're not going to live like that because there are certain things where it says, do not put the Lord your God to the test. Like, I'm not going to jump off a mountain and say the Lord's going to save me. That's not good either. Neither am I going to do something so crazy that I can fall asleep behind the wheel. I need a certain amount of energy to continue to do this and drive my car to work and from work. So, like I said, the scales are balanced in a certain way. And right now, I'm not as tired as I thought I would be. And I don't have a desire to drink alcohol, for one, because that makes me tired. Even though it might give me a sense of peace for a little bit, it makes me tired, and then that peace goes away, and then I go below my baseline of normal feeling of peace, and then I have no desire, and those are my reasons. I have no desire to go back, even though I feel like not so good right now.
And I mentioned a little bit of it. I didn't stress too much on it, but I was just like, oh my gosh, this is the worst day I could possibly be chosen for me to go through right now, because Sundays are like our most hated days because of the way that we're treated and the way that things are. And I'm about to go in there with 0 nicotine in my system. As of 6 o'clock this morning, I didn't have it for what? So 10 hours. So I would say 9 hours. So I knew that, like, I had no idea what to expect, to be honest with you. So I made it a point to say I am not telling nobody that I am going through a withdrawal period right now, that I'm not going to share this information with nobody.
So nobody knows?
No, so Sarah knew I ended up telling Sarah. So, through us to decide, do you want that vape more than me? Do you want it before me? Is it more important? Like, do you want that? Do you want to be free from that? Like, that's his power right there.